This is my Super Bowl prediction about Donald Trump dying. Now, you listen to the total, complete of this, and you're going to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, because it's a pretty bold one. I believe that Donald Trump may not survive the next 5 to 7 months, and he may be gone before the end of this year. And this is not based upon what I say, it's based upon not only what the doctors say, but I'm going to back this up with some other things that you haven't thought about as we go through this process. I'm also going to talk, that's why stay with me, I'm going to talk about what happens after Donald Trump dies. And what does that mean to us as Kamala Harris voters, as liberals right now? And what is the advantage and what's the disadvantage? Because there are some disadvantages. So hear me out. First of all, why do I believe he's going to die? Because every major doctor out there, creator online has said this. These aren't just the liberals. These are even people on the right. They're saying something's deeply wrong. Something's wrong because it looks like he might have a urine catheter being held down and it's running down his leg as he's walking around. It may look like he's dealing with dementia because his body, his mind has forgot to tell himself to urinate. And it might, he goes on himself. It's something that happens to older men. But then also this whole setup. Remember the setup they did? They said, we found a assassin chair, a lay-down chair that they have for hunting not too far, laying in the direction of where Air Force One is. And I'm like, bullshit. Y'all made that up so you could go out and give an excuse why he's going on the short stairs to go up the stairs, because he's going to have problems going up the long ones. That's what it came down to. And they gave a good excuse. The man is in physical trouble. Remember, he's disappeared. You hear doctors saying the most craziest thing. He's the healthiest ever on the face of the earth, which means we're completely bullshitting the American people, all right? They did it with Biden. We all knew something was wrong with Biden. We knew Biden was fucked up. We didn't want to admit, on the left, we didn't want to be like, yeah, he missed a step, but yeah, something's wrong. But on the right, they're like, oh, Trump is fine. No, he's not. You know he's not, right? Something's wrong. So let's get into what that means and why do I believe he could go in 5 to 7 months? Because that's the average that the doctors say, but he could go before then. He is in trouble. He is in heart trouble. There's many, many doctors who are saying he's had many strokes. He's had problems. There's been blood pressure things going on with him. There's been memory things going on with him. So the reality is he's not in a good place. Plus, he's stressed out. He's working the hardest job in the world. And this man is running around, running his mouth, talking crazy shit to people. And I'm just, it's just too much. When he gets up in the morning, he has automatic access to the world via social media. All right? And that's why you're getting these crazy rants in the morning, because he is not in his head. He has not gotten his day together, and he hasn't had his meds. And because of that, he is on a pathway to destruction. The question becomes, how much of his medication treatment is he taking? What are they prescribing he do, and is he doing it? Is he following through this pattern? And who's taking care of this man for real? No, seriously, for real. Because I don't think Melania is doing jack shit. She's waiting for him to die to get some money. I don't think she cares at all. So I don't think she's looking out for him. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like it's so. I think ever since he got caught in this whole scandal with the stripper porn star and all this other cover up, when he got caught in that, I think that was her way out the door. It might have been earlier, but she's playing along until dude pops off. That's what her advisors had probably told her. Just play cool, play this out, and get your divorce money, or get it when he dies, you're going to get a bag. Okay? That's what they done. Now, if nobody's taking care of him and they're really having to force this man for care, that's not a good symptom at all. Again, the other way he could die early, just, even before the end of the year, is if he's doing a lot of traveling, he's not taking care of himself, and he's not eating the right way. That is going to be a rough one on him. Listen, I'm 25 years younger, and I'm trying to get my stuff together. Seriously, it's hard. But at the same time, I don't have the world's hardest job in the world. And he does. And the fact that he's this much in trouble, he would watch millions of people go without SNAP benefits and have to have a federal judge come in and get them. I mean, that might be God's karma coming and say, come on, let me just take you for judgment right now. I'm just saying, spiritually speaking. Now, what are the other things? What happens if this man dies? Let's talk about that. What happens? What does that look like? Well, if he dies before the end of the year, then MAGA is in trouble, because going into next year, who's going to lead the MAGA revolution? J.D. Vance? Fuck no, he's not. They don't like him. He don't like them. He's basically gonna turn, quote, and he's just waiting for Trump to die. Now, that's the good news about us, is that it weakens the hell out of MAGA, and the blue wave is coming anyway in 2026. And JD's going to try to do a steal of the elections, but he can't do it with the force that Trump can do. So they lose their power, seriously, at least half their power, at least. So they're in trouble. It's the end. It's an end game. Heritage Foundation ain't all that. Heritage Foundation don't have a candidate that's going to make it. They don't have a charismatic anything. Trump has not set his sons up in power. He's not set anybody up to really grab the throne and lead. He hasn't. Not to the point politically, because after this politics stuff is over, they're coming for his ass. I say this in my Clarity group all the time. Click the link in the description and on the homepage, because I got a sale going on for the premium, which is half off right now. You can get in either monthly or yearly at half the price that normally it has this weekend. I'm trying to tell people in the Clarity group, just as much as I'll share some of this with you here, is that this man is in a position right now where sooner or later they're coming for him. See, as a premium member, you get a chance to get access to Clarity reports, and one of which are the 8 different investigations into Donald Trump, and one of which is grifting. And that grifting, even if he's dead, still comes after his sons. See, Trump set off a series of events this year that's going to haunt his family legacy for the next 3 generations. Here's how it runs. First, he basically fired a lot of FBI, CIA, NSA, and other investigators of all sorts in the courts and otherwise. Why is that important? Because the only person who ever did that was JFK. Now, I'm not making any hints to think he'll be assassinated or encourage anybody to do any violence. I don't believe in any violence or whatsoever. This is not a lead to violence. Let me just give a disclaimer on that. What I'm simply saying is that you are messing around with the toughest civil servants we have in America. You do not want to fuck with the intelligence community and investigative community. You think Jack Smith is your problem? That's because you have dementia. You think Letitia James is your problem? That's because you have dementia. What about the other 20-something attorney generals who's coming for your ass now? And if they don't get your ass, they definitely going to get your people. And even Trump knows that, because they interviewed him in front of the White House, and they said to Trump, dude, why are you going after Obama? He has the same immunity you have. And you know what he said? He said, but his people doesn't. Now think about that. If you were under Trump, wouldn't you think, oh shit, you are a target. You are in trouble. Dumb mother. And what I'm trying to tell people is just chill back. Wait, we gonna watch this manifest. Even on the snap, even though the judge has said, I put an injunction, I ban you from holding back SNAP benefits. So SNAP benefits are coming today and so on. They're coming. But I want to point out something, the history. This has been 40 weeks of Trump. And in those 40 weeks, we've seen 3 groups kick ass and save so much, billions of dollars, hundreds of billions in American money. The first group is the 20 plus governors and attorney generals. They've been suing their ass off and fighting, okay? And fighting. I'm going to do a special. I got over here my Clarity group, and I want to do a special here and point out to you something here. Let's take a little road trip here, shall we? Just hang in there with me. Hopefully you can see this. I'm pointing it the right way. It's called Decoding the Drama, Identifying the Data, and Developing a Better You. Well, under identifying data, I'm talking about these 23 Democrats. I'm talking about the nonprofits, hundreds of them, from ACLU to NAACP to Indivisible. I'm talking about the judicial branch lower courts, which, by the way, handle 100%, 100% of the, they handle 100%, excuse me, 99% of the court cases. So even if you're screaming, well, Darren, what about the Supreme Court? What about that? And I don't ask me why this turned blue. Maybe it's the lighting or something I did. I don't know. But let me see if I can do it like this. Maybe I don't know. Then I'm sorry, guys. You got blue now. Here's the thing. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that those three groups, the lower courts, they handle 99%. They can't kick up everything to the Supreme Court. The 20 plus attorney generals and governors and the hundreds of nonprofits have been kicking ass. Why is this important after Trump dies? I'm going to bring this back to Trump dying, because they're the same ones who's coming for that administration, whether they're in power or not. The justice will be done. Know the history. This is why you're scared, many of you. History, operation, and laws of our government clearly point out, listen to me now, history, operation, laws of our government clearly point out that even though our justice system is slow, it's definite. They got Nixon, they'll get him. And if they don't get him, they definitely will get the people around him, from the Steve Millers to the Hokels to the Gnomes to the, to the borders. Everybody's getting their ass whipped, okay? And understand this, as they're going after him, they're going to go after his sons. His sons and his daughters, his family has been doing the biggest grifting ever. I said there's 8 different types of investigations. You can join the premium right now. Click the link in my description or on my homepage and join while you can. There's a sale this weekend. Price go up. You don't miss out. Don't miss out. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. You will learn about these investigations. And one of the biggest ones that will put his family in jail is the investigation of grifting. They're making a lot of money off the grifting, y'all. And even if he's dead, they're coming after him. They're coming after him super hard when he's gone, because J.D. Vance's weak ass can't hold nobody back. The other thing you want to look at as Trump dies, let's say he drives in 7 months, past the end of the year. I'm just talking end of the year up till now. At past the end of the year, oh man, it's going to get even worse, because they won't be able to rally the base. The blue wave is coming in 26, and any attempts they're trying to train National Guards to be able to show up in blue cities. That shit ain't gonna work. There are already National Guard, heads of National Guards who are saying, we're not going to go after people like that. And you can show up with the National Guard at the election. The thing that's going to save us, and here's what nobody's telling you but me, the thing that's going to save us from the elections, not only going to be these 3 groups I talked about, the 20-something governors, attorney generals, the hundreds of nonprofits, and the judicial branch in the lower courts, that they can't kick everything up to the 1% Supreme Court, so 99% of the courts handle it, even though all of the judges aren't on our side. Out of 677, we've proven in the last 40 weeks that there are both Bush, Reagan, and Trump-appointed judges that are saying no, as well as the Democratic liberal ones. Understand that these people are going to be fighting every time they try to make a grasp at the election. But there's another group that nobody talks about, and I want to bring it down to this point. This is a very powerful group. I told you one of the most underestimated groups was our intelligence community, that are civil servants that are there working, right? Well, there's another civil servant, and that is our electoral officials in all United States. They showed up in 2020, y'all. They showed up in 2020, and they're going to show up now. That's why I told you, don't worry about no Dominion machines. It's good. The way they slipped this in and they stole the, in 2024 was through those satellites. And yes, one of those 8 investigations is in that election, and is on Trump, is on Elon and Doge, and they're going to get their ass. They're going to get their ass. But here's what's going to happen. You're first going to get them over these 30 times they broke into these departments against constitutional law and against the Congress and went after them. That's what's going to happen first. Then they're going to get their ass to give up information on the election. It is happening, y'all. I want you to be patient. I want you to be strong. I want you to understand, when this man dies, his power goes out the door. Heritage Foundation is not going to be able to garner the base. He's lost a lot of his base anyway with this whole Epstein stuff. The other thing is that if the Epstein stuff comes out and they found out that he tried to hide it and it was some sick stuff, that's going to make it even worse for him. And if he dies, the GOP Congress are going to buck back. No more Trump, they're going to buck back. He can't garner millions of people to threaten lives in the judicial branch and the legislative branch. He can't do it. And J.D. Vance don't have that kind of power. They are weak, and he's going out the door. What we have to do is play the waiting game. Hold on. Support our governors, attorney generals fighting for us. Support our hundreds of organizations, whether it be NAACP, the American Civil Liberties Union, rocks. Leah and Ezra of Indivisible rock. They make some mistakes, but everybody does, right? And then you have hundreds of other organizations like our federal unions and all of these supporters for veterans and autism and health and disabilities for children and for SNAP benefits and nonprofits who are fighting left and right. In the arts, I just had a client who told me she lost her arts money because of the state. And I was trying to explain to people, literally for the last year, who were telling me, no, you don't understand. They would tell them, some people were telling me, no, you don't understand. See, the state money gives me my money. The federal don't. Yeah, but that don't matter, because when they lose federal money in the states, then your money becomes at risk because they got to rearrange their budget and their priorities. And you may not be on the priority list. But people didn't listen. There were people who did not get active, who did not understand that. They do now. In a weird way, this really had to happen. It did, unfortunately. Because there were people who didn't believe this kind of democracy could be at risk. They didn't believe it. They didn't believe it. I have a client, Chad, who basically, he's out in Vietnam. He's an expat. Great guy. Shout out to Chad, Vietnam. Check out his YouTube. Really good guy. And he's telling me all these stories about how the hundreds and even thousands of people are reaching out to him to try to see what's going on in Vietnam, what's going on. And so are all the expats. The expat business is up, as you can imagine. People who are selling expat information from Thailand to China to Dubai to Vietnam to Cambodia to yada yada. You go to yada yada, that's a popular place, yada yada. Go to Ghana, go to these places. They're trying to find out what's going on because they're afraid. People are afraid they may end up have to flee like a German Jew in 1932, as one Jewish person told me. You gotta, it's looking crazy. But are we there yet? I don't think so. And I think if you look at the record, we are winning. We're winning. I'm thinking about doing a live stream just talking about that. We are winning. We are winning. We're kicking their ass. But we gotta stay diligent. And we gotta understand it's a waiting game. Trump dies, there's gonna be a lot of advantages. Now, what's the one disadvantage? I want to close it off with that. What's the one disadvantage? J.D. Vance is a little smoother and slicker. He's got a kind of, American evangelical Xi Jinping about him. Xi Jinping is one of the smartest people we've had, adversaries we ever had in American history. Be very clear. It ain't about Putin. Fuck Putin. He's a thug. We talking about Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping is gangster. Oh, you don't? Xi Jinping is gangster. Woo! How many people you see flee into Russia for safety? Not many. But they going over to China. They're going to places like Vietnam. They're going to places like, what I'm trying to point out is China and Vietnam are communist countries. And I'm not here to knock them. I'm just saying. But they don't play it like communist countries, do they? Oh, they smooth. See, J.D. Vance is smooth. I'll give him that. And he's going to be a lot more subtle than Donald Trump. He's going to be a bit of an ass. He is a bit of an ass. He is an ass, not a bit. Let me stop holding back. But here's the thing. His moves are going to be behind the scenes more. He's not going to have the outrageousness of Trump. And that's dangerous. We got to keep our eyes on the ball. The outrageousness is what gets us moving and keeps us alert, right? Facts. That's the downside. He's going to play this smooth, and we got to watch what him and the Heritage Foundation do. But they will be half the strength that they were before. Facts. I think the man is going to go in 5 to 7 months, but he could die out before the end of the year. That's what it is. Check out my next video.